headed to work to have some commentary about the things that make our mind go, wow. The Terminator, Doug Ford. That's what he calls it. He's calling today Termination Day, right? And if I had a studio and some people in the background, I would have had them play Terminator X. I would have had to do that, but our production is lacking in a vehicle. So listen, today is the day that Donald Trump is supposed to levy massive world tariffs all over the place. He's got everybody holding their breath because the Trumpster is about to drop tariffs everywhere on everybody. He's about to just hit everybody. Bam, bam, bam. Tariff for you, tariff for you, tariff for all of you. Donald, oh Donald. That's what we say in Trinidad. Donald, oh Donald. Listen, ain't nobody afraid of your tariff. Honestly, nobody's afraid of Donald Trump's tariff. Let me explain why. All right? And as I do normally, I like to go home to Trinidad and Tobago first. Trinidad and Tobago, when I was growing up, and in the time of probably my mother's growing up, her father, my grandfather, Joseph Brereton, he worked for Texaco Oil. And Trinidad, up until 2018, had a booming oil business. We had an oil refinery. Yes, on the little island of Trinidad, we had an oil refinery. We had an oil refinery business that they decided to close. Now, the word on the street, on the internet streets is, oh, it was the refinery required a massive financial infusion to bring itself up to date, competitiveness, etc., etc., etc. It could not produce enough oil, blah, 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 blah. Bunch of bacchanal. Because today, Trinidad is still an exporter of crude oil. So either we run out of oil, or we didn't run out of oil, right? But for some reason, and I'm sure, I am positive, due to Western influences, we decided in 2018 of all, 2018, if we're going to run out of oil, we're going to run out of oil long ago. But in 2018, they decided we're not going to do oil anymore. We're not going to refine our own oil, right? Again, I started with my country, Trinidad and Tobago, but let me come to this place here, this cold tundra I driving down the road of this place called Canada. Canada is the second largest oil producing country in the world. Did you know that? Number 2 behind the Saudis. And you're telling me that we have to worry about America? Lumber we have trees till we can't find place to stand up. Okay? We have so much minerals. There's so many minerally rich places in the world that are underachieving in the areas of merchandising these resources. And ladies and gentlemen, we cannot consider these things to be coincidental. The best example we have of my thesis statement being accurate and correct is Congo, the richest country in the world and the poorest country in the world at the same time. How are you the most beautiful woman in the world and the ugliest at the same time? Throw out a few names, but I don't want to insult anybody. The richest country in the world and the poorest country at the same time. Because the most minerally rich place still requires an individual or a government, an agenda to market these things, to protect them and to market them effectively and properly. What is making America dangerous? What makes America America? Huh? What is making Donald Trump so pervasive in the mind of world business? Definitely not the mineral richness of America. I think somebody's going to wake up and say, what does this place have that we care about so much? One of my great idols, I shouldn't call him an idol, an individual that when I look into history, I'm very proud of his behavior. And you're not going to like it. You're not going to like it. I'll tell you right now, you're not going to like it. You're not going to like it. His name is Idi Amin. Idi Amin. The president for life of Uganda. Hey, when Idi Amin stepped into power in Uganda, he did a couple of questionable things. Threw some people out. Told some people, you can leave, but your money's staying here. We're keeping it all. But one of the things I liked that Idi Amin did, I don't like everything he did, but one of the things I like is he looked England in the face and said, sanctions? You, Queen Elizabeth, are going to sanction me? Me, Queen Elizabeth? I have hippopotamuses. Do you have hippopotamuses? He went on a tour. He hired a film crew, touring through Africa, telling the English Queen and her dry land, what are you going to sanction me with? I have food, I have natural resources, I have nothing, you have nothing I need, baby. You have nothing I require. Queen Elizabeth. He laughed. He said, Queen, I'm going to sanction you. When you come to Africa, I'll give you a hippopotamus. It's a wonderful documentary. You can see it on YouTube, actually. It's hilarious. The guy had a great sense of humor. Fantastic. And when Idi Amin did that, and I saw that, I said, yeah! How are you going to sanction the mother of life? The seedbed of all things? Sanction Africa? Sanction us with what? Hey! Donald Trump putting sanctions, or tariffs, let's call them, on a G7 nation. Should look like, it's like Bill Gates, putting a sanction on Jeff Bezos. It's like, sanction? What are you talking about, Bill? Well, I'm not going to invite you to the parties. I'm not going to invite you to the clubhouses. Okay. All right, buddy. Good luck with that. Why does Canada care about America putting tariffs on Canadian goods? Why do we really care? You know why we really care? Because we're lazy. I'm gonna check my comments in a second. You're lazy. Okay? You've got there's a lot of more people. You've got about an 8 billion person world. And yeah, you got 350, 450, I don't know what the count is, clients just south of your border, Canada. And you're content to say, well, we only got to do business with them. They're going to be our greatest trading partner. We're not going to look anywhere else. They're right there. And what we're also going to do is we're going to subordinate our currency. We're going to make our Canadian dollar so weak that we're going to entice America to shop here. So weak. Our dollar now is sitting at about $69. I shouldn't even say our. Their dollar. The colonizer up north. The northern colonizer's dollar is sitting at 69 cents for the southern colonizer's dollar. Subordinate your currency so that you can be lazy, so you don't have to go and go do business with the world. You think America's the only people who need lumber? Huh? I think they don't even got trees in Norway. Go sell some of these trees to Norway. Switzerland, they need trees. Come on. You think America's the only people that need crude oil? Come on, man. Develop your own refineries, Canada. Oh, you're afraid of the Saudis. You're not afraid of them. It's because you all got your hand in the Saudi Arabians' pocket. You all privately, secretly control and hold places that you've propped up over the years, you colonizing bandits. So you don't want to disrupt your own wealth system to actually let your country stand by itself. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. There's no more corrupt place than North America. You see, in Africa, Back in the day when America would come into Africa and say, hey, we want to rape and pillage you for your minerals. A leader in Africa would say, of course, give me $10 billion, put it in my backyard, and go do what you like. They wouldn't build a road, they wouldn't develop the country. Had riches, wouldn't develop the country. That's exactly what they're doing in North America. How can you be a G7 nation and be afraid of another G7 nation, or a G8 nation and be afraid of another G8 nation? Did you not see what South Africa said to America? What do you mean? You want us to come where, Donald? White South Africans said, we're not refugees. Why would we come to your lousy country? Why we don't need to come to your country. We're in South Africa. We're in Africa. We're fine. We don't need anything you have. Those are white South Africans saying that. Don't open the borders for us. We're not coming. We have everything we need. We are a first world country. South Africa, first world. Right? And there's a lot of African countries that are really first world. Ghana's a first world country. I don't care what you say. I've been there. I see the place. The place bright. Right? It's this laziness. And Canadians, you have now demonstrated that you are as lazy as any country that you pointed your little wobbly maple leaf finger at. Lazy. How can you have a G7, G8 nation and you didn't build an army? Huh? You have no army to speak of. Bunch of jokers running around being peacekeeping forces in NATO, but you have no capacity to protect yourself. So that now when Donald Trump says, "Oh, we'll come up there and invade you," they're like, "Oh no, we don't even have an army. We thought you guys were going to protect us. No, we're not going to do that." Come on. Let me check out what you guys got to say. Oh, my eyes. Come on, eyes. Not at all how. I don't know what you're asking me. You gotta ask me. You gotta have sentences, boy. Everything you don't have. That's exactly stupid leaders. Give me some sentences so I can respond. I lose my train of thought. By the time I get to your question, what I said is so far in the past that I need you to rearrange the elocution of your articulation so that I can now step into your argument and say yay or nay. You know what I'm saying? All right? I'm not sure exactly what you said, so regurgitate it for me so I can. And the viewing audience wants to know what you said. This is it's not a monologue. This is a conversation with you and me and us and everyone. Listen, when we get to the bare bones of the situation, the United States of America only has a military force. They are modern day Rome. Modern day Rome. They have the capacity to oppress. They have an army, but not much else. We want some oranges out of Florida. Like, really, what else? What else you guys got? What else do you got that we actually want? You and Russia and China, three biggest bullies in the world, don't produce much. You really don't. And America tries to pat itself on the back and say, well, out of the three of them, we're the only country that can actually produce our own food, feed our own people. That's probably true. But other than feed yourself, what do you really offer to the world? Right? You're mafiosa. Right? You're like, oh, we're protection. We're going to protect you. You pay us a little money and we're going to protect you. We're going to take care of you. We'll make sure nobody bothers you. You know? Well, come on. That's what you can tell Israel. You can tell Israel that nonsense. Israel, your partnership with us will make sure, but you just want to sit around there and have Israel tell you what's going on over there with these people that you have created a boogeyman with. Right? You've created a boogeyman with the Muslim. You're afraid of the Muslim, deadly afraid of them, always been afraid of them, still afraid of them, afraid of Farrakhan, right? You're afraid of Malcolm. You're afraid of every one of these Shiites. You're afraid of the Yemen. Yemen can't even feed themselves. Yemen can't even feed themselves. Let me say it like Dr. Umar. Yemen can't even feed themselves, and you're having secret signal meetings of bombing Yemen. Why are you afraid of Yemen? Why do you have to have a meeting to blow up Yemen? What can Yemen do to America? Yemen can't even send missiles fast enough to bomb Israel. The missiles are moving so slow that they saw them days out. The slowest moving missiles in the world. Missiles being pulled by mules are in Yemen. What the heck what are you having secret meetings to destroy Yemen about? Every time I take this highway, take the wrong way. I should have gone the other direction. Now I have to turn around. I have time. It's a terrible thing. You're in your own place and you're lost. Oh my goodness. America has nothing to offer the world other than destruction. That's it. That is the greatest resource of that evil nation, right? And American people, please don't get discombobulated when I call your nation evil. It's evil. It's an evil place. It's a very evil place. Lot lived in Sodom and Gomorrah. God took him out of there because the place was evil. There's a lot of Lots living in the Sodom and Gomorrah of the New World, America. There's a lot of Lots. And God will not leave you there and destroy that nation. He won't do it. He'll take you out. But you have to heed the warnings of those He sent to tell you, don't get comfortable, baby. Don't get comfortable. It's an evil place. It's a very evil place. It's always been an evil place. The amount of blood on the hands of America. It's an evil place. Right? It's an evil place. I'm sorry. And you have despotic individuals that run the country. They run the country. And they have... I'm going to run this light. I'm running the light. And they have fooled you. They've tricked you. They've bamboozled you into believing that America is a great place. It's okay. It's been done before. Right? When the Germans were supporting Adolf, they thought they were supporting a good guy. Right? Guy coming to fix the economic system and to speak about German empowerment and patriotism. They thought they were talking about a nice guy. Right? The same thing when they were talking with that Italian Mussolini. They thought he was a nice guy. They thought Stalin was a nice guy. Right? You guys just believe that certain people, because they sit in positions of power in the Western world, that they're nice people. They're terrible people. J. Edgar Hoover was a horrible human being. He was one of the worst people that ever lived. He's burning in hell right now, that guy. He's a terrible man. Right? Lyndon Johnson was a terrible guy too. Guy who gave America so-called civil rights. He was a horrible dude. He wasn't a good guy. It's a lot of horrible fellas sitting around, but you guys you put them on your Mount Rushmore. They're terrible individuals. The country has done evil on an incredible scale. Incredible scale. Like no other nation ever. The destruction. My goodness. So, don't get excited when I tell you that your nation is evil. I'm not telling you you're evil. I'm not telling you you're evil. Rome was an evil country. Rome was an evil empire up until Constantine Christianized it, when it became the Byzantine Empire. It was a terrible place. Look at some of these guys, Caligula, Nero, right? The list goes on of these horrible monsters, madmen that sat in positions of power. And you guys have one now. You have a horrible dictator running your country. He's a terrible guy. He's not a nice guy, right? He's made some better moves than he made the last time he was there, right? That's just experience talking. But he's still the same monster he was before. He's just a more organized monster. So I'm trying to tell you that you don't need to be afraid of the orange boogeyman. Because what can he doggone do? Donald Trump and Putin are in very difficult positions. Let me explain. They are men that control great power, but can't use it. They cannot use it. They have incredible power, but they cannot use it. The only thing that those nations can use their power for is to destroy themselves. how many, look this up, how many young Russian boys have been killed in that useless war happening there with the Ukraine and Russia? Over 100,000 young boys. I think they're aged, what is the age? 18 to 30. Russia is murdering their next generation. These young men are fleeing. They're hiding. They're conscripting. Putin just conscripted, ordered to come to war. 100,000 plus more Russian young men. They're killing themselves. They're running headfirst into their own spear, killing themselves. This is 2025. You're conscripting guys to come to fight a war so that you can take over a country that has been sitting there from time? You're wasting time. You thought you would just run over these guys. You should have. But you can't use the ferocity of your might because you have scorched the earth technology that you can't use. You can't use it. It's like you're going into a schoolroom fight. Schoolroom. You say, oh, you want to fight? I'm going to fight. I'll meet you outside. And then one guy comes outside with a bazooka. You're gonna shoot me with a bazooka, bro? You didn't even come out here and bring a knife. You didn't bring a pistol. You want to shoot me with a bazooka? That's what you got in your trunk? These guys have scorched the earth technology and weaponry. You can't even use that stuff. It's too much. Killing yourselves. You're going to destroy yourselves. America's not going to invade Canada. It would set the whole world off. You're like, what are you doing? Imagine. And this is what Trump is. This is how Trump thinks. This is the craziest part. You got to understand how much of a child this man is. He's saying, oh, well, Russia and Ukraine, that's just like America and Canada. And the same way that Russia wants the Ukraine to be part of the Ukraine, we should want Canada to be part of America. We should be doing the same thing Putin's doing. Do you see the you see the dummyism that's working in your that's the model he's following. That's the script. Yeah. You're right. The bigger country should rule the smaller country. Like, of course that should happen. Yeah, Canada, we're coming to pick you guys up. You're going to be the 51st state. Mexico, it's not the Gulf of Mexico, it's the Gulf of America now. Yep. Panama Canal, we didn't give that to you. That's not yours. We're going to take that back. This guy's a feudal, he's a feudal dictator from, like, he thinks he's Napoleon or something. This is incredible. Let me go see what you wrote now. I still don't understand. Just agreeing with your point, sir. You have told no lies. Okay. It's over you. I'm sorry, brother. I'm trying to figure out the points, because what happens is, let me tell you the secret. When I run out of things to talk about and I read the comments, it like hits me into a whole new situation. So if you give me like sentences, I can piggyback and the show gets bigger. You know what I'm saying? Even though I got to be at work in half an hour. So yeah, it's incredible. But I want to calm the flames. We got nothing to be afraid of with Donald, because at the end of the day, and I want everybody to realize this, it's what Africa knows. It's what the leader of Burkina Faso understands, but the rest of the world doesn't understand it very, very well. At the end of the day, the guy who controls the army controls the nation. Donald is up there making executive orders and doing all the stuff his orange little hands can do. But at the end of the day, these generals are looking at each other like, when he goes too far, we're taking over. You know that? Oh yeah, we're taking over. We're not letting this guy do anything crazy. Yeah, I'm not letting him do anything crazy. Good. You got that? Yeah. Okay. Wink, wink. Donald can only go so far. Okay? He's going to stand up there and say something insane, and then be like, we're not doing that. We're not doing that, bro. Okay? You can say it, but we're not doing it. Simple as that. It's not going to happen, right? I run this. You can't even fire me. Fire who? These men report to me. They're loyal to me. They're not loyal to you. So at the end of the day, and my brother at Burkina Faso, that's why he doesn't take off his military uniform. He's like, I'm the head of the army. I've learned from Africa. I've learned. The guy who runs the army runs the country. Idi Amin understood that too. That's why Idi Amin rode in a military jeep. Old time. See big Billy in a military jeep. I cannot be killed. I know when I'm going to die. I run the military. He's not a joke. All you watch. Every single African leader who did not control his military was either put out or killed. You control the military. That's the head of the army. David learned that nonsense too. Right? David was like, I don't feel like going out to fight with the guys. I don't want to fight. I'm a chill right here and hang out and check chicks out. Right? And for those who know the story, he started dating one of his general's wives. Right? The disrespect. And the mentality was like, why aren't you here at the front where everybody else is? You're setting us to fight and you're sitting back in your castle, bro? Is that how you're doing it now? See, David's respect was that he was a leader that was at the front with his men. He wasn't sending them on a war he wasn't going to. Same thing with Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great said, hey, I ain't just going to send you to fight. I'm coming with you, baby. We're taking all this stuff. Every great leader went to fight with his men. Every great leader. And anybody who wants to lose their nation, you go send generals out to fight and don't go with them. And they come back and carrying their own glory, not your glory. The men are not following you, they're following them. Be careful. Donald Trump, it is termination day, as Doug Ford said. Dougie, talk to them, baby. I don't like Doug that much. We've had some bad interactions. I ran for mayor in Toronto against his brother, the late Rob Ford, and we had a debate. They liked my points, and they started to make a little side deal with me, a little side hustle. And they said, you know what? How about if you endorse Rob, we'll endorse you for city councilor in another region, and we'll do some inducements, some enticements. We'll make sure everything's comfortable. We'll help your campaign. We'll do this. We'll do that. We want to be friends. We like your platform. We'll take your platform and we'll run with your platform. Tell us more. So we had those conversations, and at the end of the day, Doug Ford cut the throat of all of the stuff that was in place. Yeah, Doug Ford did that. Doug Ford came behind and said, "No, we're not honoring any of this." They honored nothing. And then a few months later, his brother died. Well, anyway. So it's interesting to see Doug climb the hill of politics, sitting down, and he wanted to be very Trump-like, but he's realizing Canada's not going for that. So did Pierre Poilievre thought too, that he could be very Trump-like. Canada's not going for that. And it's probably why they're going to put Mark Carney in that seat, because he's just smarter. He's a better guy. He's a better guy for the job. I don't like liberal politics, but Carney, as a personality, as a brain, he's a bigger brain. He's a better guy. I don't always like all of liberal ideas, but that's probably what it is. But Dougie's on the right. He's on the right tip right now. All right, I'm gonna give a guy his flowers. Doug says, "Hey, you call it what is Donald calling it? Liberation Day?" Doug says, "Nah, baby, it's Termination Day, because I'm about to pull the plug on you suckers." Doug's an old gangster. Doug had a business in Chicago. He was in Chicago, Chi-Town. He was in Chicago. They had a labeling business, of all things. They labeled everything. It was very interesting. A labeling business? A labeling business. That's what you did in Chicago. What does it sound like to you? Money laundering for the mob, maybe? He had a labeling business for years, right? They put labels on stuff. That's what they did. That's how they made their millions of dollars, as doing labeling and running for public office. That's all. Rob has been a career politician, and Doug ran the family business in Chicago. So that guy's an old gangster too. right? But now he's sitting down there as the governor, aka premier of Ontario, and he's the same type of bandit that Donald is, and he's a dangerous bandit too. Don't let the smiles and everything. A friend of mine just had her mom passed away, and Doug was a friend of the family, very well-to-do family here in North America, of the South Asian community. And Doug came to the funeral, saw Doug at the funeral, very sincere-looking guy at the funeral. I'm like, okay, Doug, you look very sincere, but don't let it fool you. That guy's an old polecat. And if Doug says it's termination day, it's termination day. Okay, so, and the things that he really, really wants to do are a lot worse than the things he's actually saying. So I'm very interested to see what Doug pulls out of his hat in respect to termination day. Because if anybody I know is a big enough bandit to do something that Donald will really lift up the hairs in the back of his neck, it's Doug Ford. It's that guy. Okay? It's that guy. Those are two villains. Because remember, the Conservative Party is the exact same thing as the Republican Party in America. They're right-winged individuals, but they're at odds with each other because you're now tramping upon my hood. So Doug, it's going to be a very interesting day to see what takes place and what happens. Carney wants to sit down and have conversations and say, okay, when we get elected, we're going to sit down and have a conversation. You can't have a conversation with a dictator. They don't respond to conversation, they respond to action. And they respond to bloodshed. Yeah? You cut me, I'm going to cut you twice. Just know that. You're ready for that. You ready to get cut? I'm going to cut you. I'm going to cut you. And so as long as you are dangerous, Donald will listen to you. But if you're not dangerous, Donald doesn't care what you say. And he says, you give us tariffs, we're going to respond. We're going to respond. We're going to give you more. We're going to give you more. And he's going to go too far. And look, the economy of America is tanking right now. It's tanking at an incredible level because people don't know what to do about that. They don't know how to manage that situation where a person is saying, hey, we're going to pull out the rug from under our largest trading partner and penalize them for just existing. Yeah. So that's all I got for you today. This is Del K. Brereton. This is the real spiel. America, it's termination day. I hope they got some generators in Michigan, Minnesota. Hope y'all got some generators, baby. It's about to get real cold. It's about to get real cold because Doug's about to turn the power off on y'all. Don't play with Dougie. It's termination day. Let me see what you got to say. Hello from a rare sunny day in Ireland. Hey, Ireland, what's going on, Ireland? You know, the Irish and the English, they know this feud. This is just a family feud, baby. The Irish know this feud, right? This is a family feud going on in here. It's going to be an exciting day. God bless you. We'll talk to you guys very soon.